Kansas City Sports Update Studios. Welcome to Kingdom Radio, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. Brought to you by Arrowhead Update. Join Kris and Richard on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Player FM, CastBox, and all third-party applications. Check us out on Facebook platforms such as Kansas City Sports Update and Arrowhead Update. And if you cannot find us there, Google or search Kingdom Radio and Kansas City Chiefs, and you will find us. Welcome to the Kingdom. Kingdom.
How are we doing, Chiefs Kingdom? It is game day, and the excitement is real in the air as the Chiefs host the Houston Texans here at noon at Arrowhead Stadium. And we're going to break down the game here real quick. And as always, I have my senior NFL analyst and co-host Kris Chavez with me today. How are we doing, Kris?
Doing fantastic. Enjoy the Balloon Fest out here in Albuquerque.
Enjoying what?
The Balloon Fest.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so today we're going to hop right into things, Kris. We're going to start with the injury report. Because Sammy Watkins is doubtful, Chris Jones is out, Eric Fisher is out, Dorian O'Daniel is out. We could see Tyreek Hill on the field. We also have Anthony Hitchens that's listed as questionable with Tyreek Hill, Cam Irving, LaShawn McCoy, Patrick Mahomes, Alex Okafor, and Anthony Sherman are all game-time decisions. So tell us, what does that mean for the game today, and is this injury report really going to set the Kansas City Chiefs back at all?
Late-breaking news, Sammy Watkins is out for this game.
Sammy's out, huh?
Yeah, Sammy's out.
Okay.
I think that ultimately a lot of these injuries are going to have effects. Even if these guys end up playing, they're playing hobbled, and they can't go 100%. They're going to give their all, absolutely, but they're not going to be able to go maybe as hard as we're used to seeing them go. Tyreek's going to be, if he plays, he's going to be running all over the field. But I think the first time that he takes a big hit, I think everyone's going to be holding their breath to see, does he get up, does he stay down? It's going to be like that with a lot of these guys. I think not necessarily that we're thin, but we're getting to the point where some of these guys, some of these positions, we can't afford to take another injury with those guys going out.
Yes, and let me ask you this. Do you think the Chiefs will use Tyreek Hill as a decoy today? Because let's be honest, just Tyreek being on the field and, having the impact with his presence and that speed, he opens the field up quite a bit for the Chiefs. Just another team preparing for a game plan for a player like Tyreek Hill, opens the door for the Chiefs in so many different avenues for them to put points on the board. Do you think that this is something that the Chiefs might be able to capitalize off of, just having Tyreek Hill on the field as a decoy?
Yeah, absolutely. I expect for him to be used more as a decoy than anything. Running plays, again, if he has to block, there's going to be putting pressure on that collarbone. If he's out there and he plays a good amount of snaps, I think that Reed and the doctors feel comfortable enough with him taking those hits that they're not concerned. If he sees limited time, then he's probably not 100% yet. And they're being extremely cautious. But just having him on the field, just let him stretch the defense and make them have to think twice. But I would definitely tell Patrick Mahomes, do not throw him the ball unless he has wide open field to the end zone.
Yes, we would love to see him avoid the big hit, and we need him, down the stretch in the season. Of course, this is an important game, and every game is an important game, but let's be honest, like you had mentioned before, we're playing for the postseason, so anything before that, is just kind of a blessing for us to be able to watch the Chiefs. So, yes, I look for Tyreek to have a big impact, especially with Sammy out. Again, does it surprise me that Sammy's out? Nope. Same old Sammy Watkins. We discussed this before the season. He showed some flashes of brilliance, but hey, I'm at a point with Sammy where like we said before, this is a critical year for you, and I think he's showing us here in Chiefs Kingdom just what his value truly is.
Yeah, and the other thing to also keep in mind is that it's going to be a short week after this week, and potentially we could see, we're definitely going to see no Sammy. We could potentially see little to no Cheetah, but we turn around and we see them Thursday night against Denver.
Right, and in my mind, regardless of what Denver's record is, this is still a huge game for us. And we need to come out prepared even on a short week because it is a divisional game, and we all know what it means to have each and every win in the division. So let's kind of look at the Texans' injury report here and how this impacts the Chiefs game, or impacts the Chiefs. Obviously, Greg Mance, he is out on the percussion protocol. DeAndre Hopkins, looks like a game-time decision, but I'm sure he's going to go. Kenny Stills is questionable. Jonathan Joseph is questionable. Tywan Jones is questionable. Carlos Hyde, game-time decision. A.J. Moore, game-time decision. Tashawn Gibson, another game-time decision. Really just... There's just a few that are questionable. There's one out, but I don't think the injury report for the Texans is going to have a significant impact on this game. I feel like they're looking pretty good top to bottom. But I don't know. What do you think of this injury report? Do you think it's going to impact the game at all today?
With the center Greg Mance being out, I expect for that to have an effect. Maybe not necessarily for the entire game, but I mean, you lose the guy who makes all the blocking calls on the line. That's going to be pretty significant, and there's a chance that his backup could potentially make some mistakes in there. Kenny Stills being questionable with the hamstring, I think that's at least going to slow him up a bit, so that'll help us out because they really do have three threats at wide receiver in the passing game. And then Jonathan Joseph being questionable as well. He's by far their best defender in the secondary. And so perhaps we can potentially take advantage of that and get a few more throws in downfield that if he was 100% healthy, we wouldn't be able to make.
And I really hope that holds true, but I will say, going back to last week against the Colts, their best linebacker was out and both safeties were out, and they still held Kansas City due to their game plan and injuries on our side of the ball. So that's one of those things that I look at this injury report, but I look at it as a situation where Kansas City still got to come out and play football no matter who is on the injury report. We've got to knuckle down, come out with aggression and a passion, and bring this win home to Kansas City because, look, this is a potential playoff team that we're playing today. They're no slouch, and we really, really need to make a statement here today against the Texans. And what better way, to go into the second I don't want to say second half, but, starting to go into the midway point in the season, then get on a roll. We need to get on a roll here in Kansas City. Put all this other stuff behind us, the bad games, the bad offensive games, the bad defensive games, and just come out there and play Kansas City Chief football like we know how to do, and we've been doing for the last season and a half, and really 6 seasons. Touching base with Alex Smith, he's obviously not Patrick Mahomes, but, he did a lot of great things for the Chiefs. Today's the day. We got to put our foot down today, Kansas City. Our Chiefs need a victory. We got to take this win because I will say my alarms will be going off for Chiefs Kingdom if we lose this game today at Arrowhead.
Yeah, this is definitely a very big game. The Texans by far are probably the most on par with the Chiefs offensively that we've seen all season long. Watson is a tremendous quarterback who is probably more so like Pat Mahomes than Lamar Jackson that we played earlier this year. I expect for this to be not necessarily a shootout, but a very competitive game. And it's going to be a really great game to watch. Win, lose, or draw, it'll be a great game to watch. It's going to hurt if we lose or draw this game.
Yes. And this is one of those things. I don't remember the last time we lost 2 straight at Arrowhead. this is a pivotal game. This is going to show us the grit and toughness of our Chiefs going into the future, because we have high hopes. This is a Super Bowl or bust season, and it's time for the Chiefs to really show Kansas City what we're working with, because, hey, we're midway through the season, and there's a lot of big question marks, and those have got to get figured out. I feel like Spags should pull the same defense today that the rest of the league has been pulling on us all year long. I feel like that, the Houston offense and the Chiefs offense are about as close as, any other offense in the league, and we should absolutely implement a game plan that teams are using against us.
No, absolutely, and seeing a lot of man coverage on the outside would definitely help to shut that down. Blitzing the heck out of Watson and not letting him get comfortable and making him throw on the run and not letting him set his feet is going to really help us out to achieve that.
I think that we could be okay here in this game. There's just some keys to the game that the Chiefs really need to stick to. Kris, me and you really love to hone in on these keys to the game because, hey, we're GM mindsets here. And this is really a game where we have to dig deep. We got to come in with a good game plan. So, Kris, what are your keys to this game? If Andy Reid was giving you the keys to Ferrari, what would you do?
Run at J.J. Watt. Run the ball a lot early to set the tone. Tire out J.J. Watt. He's always going to be a beast and a monster, but run away from the left side. Run away from Cam Irving, because if we end up tiring out that defensive end who's going up against him, we're going to tire out J.J. Watt, make Merciless inconsequential as well. Those two are their leading sack getters. Merciless has 5 and J.J. Watt has 4. If we can tire them out, make them have to respect the run, they can't just dig in and get after Mahomes. They have to wonder, is this a pass? Is this a run? And that split-second decision can be the difference between a sack or completion.
Hey, and you are right about that. And at the same time, okay, so, you say run. One thing that I've noticed about the Kansas City Chiefs, the best thing to do to beat the Chiefs is keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, which teams have done a very, very good job of that here the last 3 weeks. So now it's time for the Chiefs, like you said, to run, control the clock, take our control back, and then go deep. Let's utilize that play action, Let's get them so scared about the run that I don't want to say forget about the pass. Obviously, we have Patrick Mahomes, but, establishing the running game is going to make Houston vulnerable. And I feel like that's our best shot at taking a victory, a W away from this game, is controlling the clock. Control the line of scrimmage. Like you said, I'm with you. Run right at J.J. Watt. You don't need to run away from him. Let's run right at him, because that's the powerhouse. You put 2 guys on him. You run right at him. You take the other side of the line away from the play completely. And we'll just run it down their throat. Let's go back to Marty Ball today. Let's do some hard-nosed football, and then when we can beat them over the top, take your shots over the top. Patrick Mahomes, take your progressions, take your check downs, dump the ball off out of the backfield, throw it into the flats. It doesn't have to be a home run play every time. They're taking those plays away from us. So let's build a game plan around a team that's going to take the big plays away from us. And then when we can take the top off, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing, you touched on one thing that I haven't seen a whole lot of the last several weeks, is those 5-yard and under or pass attempts. I've seen a lot from 6 to 20, but the short passing game hasn't really been there. And nor has the run game. And I think that we need to utilize that in order to bring that secondary down and make them cover the entire field. Because what they can do is they can just drop back at about the 10 to 20, 25 yards away from the line of scrimmage, and then just cover that. If we have to extend them another 5 to 10 yards that creates those holes that we saw last year that we're not seeing this year.
And I think this is one of those things that let's take a page out of Alex Smith's book. Let's be a game manager. Let's manage this game all the way around. Game management, time management, all of that. Let's manage this game. Let's get a W, and let's get out of Arrowhead. Not losing back-to-back games. I feel like that if we can just simple it up a little bit, take the pressure off Mahomes, get the ball out of his hand quicker, we have a better shot of winning this game. And with Mahomes running around, here's my thing: is the defense has been getting to Patrick Mahomes so much, and he's constantly scrambling around trying to make a play. Let's let these other players make a play. We don't need the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands, for 7 seconds after the ball snap. Most quarterbacks get the ball out of their hands within the first 2 to 3 seconds. Let's get back to that. Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to make a play every time. Simple it up a little bit, Andy Reid, and let's get back to the basics, and let's win a football game here.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. Simplify it. Make the easy passes. I think we're kind of overcomplicating things for ourselves, and thus we're beating ourselves. Making Mahomes have a 7-step drop, 10-step drop, and then having him run around just so that he has enough time for the wide receivers to get downfield is kind of ridiculous. Use that speed and utilize it on crossing routes where going up against a zone or even a man and defense, they can't keep up with us, and we can find those holes in the zone. Use those crossing routes. You don't have to always go deep downfield every time.
Yes, and it's bring a simple game plan, because sometimes simple is better. And I feel like with such a complex offense, and not that our offense is doing anything wrong, it's just defense is adjusting to our offense. So what do we need to do as a legitimate contender? We've got to change our game plan up, and we've got to put our head down, and we've got to muscle out a win. This is a muscle out, tough, hard-earned win that we need to have today. And that's really all I have to say about it, because, look, we're looking terrible. Like Travis Kelce said, look, don't get worried. They're going to figure it out. They've got to get their passion back, and it's got to happen today at Arrowhead. We cannot lose another game at Arrowhead. We can't.
Yeah, and just going to kind of move in another direction real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Something I want to throw in there is the 4 leading tacklers on the Houston Texans defense. They're all in the secondary. Well, 3 of the 4 are in the secondary, and you only have 1 as a linebacker. And so, to me, that's telling me that the linebackers are slow to get to the ball, and the cornerbacks, the safeties, are having to come up and make those plays on the outside. And so, I think that we're going to be able to utilize that and take advantage of that, get the ball outside, and then get those big 5, 10-yard gains, and dink and dunk, so to speak, all game long. Make them cover, make them run all over the place, get them tired. Like in tennis, you don't always hit it to where your opponent's at. You hit it to the other side and make them run side to side to side. And in the short game, in the immediate part of the game, yeah, they might be able to overpower you. In the long game, they're going to get tired. We need to win this game in the second half, not in the first half.
Yes, and that I will say that the second half has looked pretty dismal for the Chiefs and scoring, and I will also say that the second half has looked better for our defense here in the last few weeks than our offense, and they're not getting enough credit. And that's one thing I want to say. I want to hone in on this just a little bit before we get off of here. Me included, all of Kansas City has talked about how, Patrick Mahomes only thrown 1 touchdown the last 2 weeks. His production's dropped. He's, having to scramble all over the field. Our defense looks horrible. Our offense looks horrible. But I will say one thing. I want to say one thing, and I want Chiefs Kingdom to understand this, is Patrick Mahomes has still not thrown an interception. And for him to have nothing around him like it was the last 2 weeks, that man had no protection at all like the last 2 or 3 weeks. And to still not throw an interception and to still have us in a game, and games that we probably shouldn't have been in with our lack of defensive production, our lack of offensive production, that's the quarterback I want on the Chiefs. Still no interceptions, still keeping us in games when nobody else was.
Well, and on that same note, also looking at the fact that in every single game this season, he's thrown for over 300 yards.
And that's
every single game.
And that's huge. We were clawing for a 300-yard passer for the last 20 years. And for him to come back and throw 300 yards every single game, even if he's not having touchdown, this man is keeping us in games. We need everybody else to step up, and I think he realizes that too. Like, it's not just the Patrick Mahomes show. All of you guys, every single one of you needs to step up for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, absolutely. And he just needs some help. He needs some guys to catch the ball in the run game, hold on to the ball. It's definitely got to – things just have to improve.
Yes, and it's all the way around, coaching included. I'm not leaving out Andy Reid, and I'm not leaving out Spags. Coaching included. We need to improve things and polish things top to bottom. Fix this. Kelsey, get out there. Kelsey had the worst game of his career last week. I'm glad we got it out of the way early. And that's another thing. Look, we're getting these horrible games out of the way. We've got our speed bump that most teams go through during the season out of the way early, and I personally feel like that's a great thing moving forward. Let's just get on a roll here in Kansas City. Let's start that today. Arrowhead Stadium at noon. We have the Texans. We need to come in and play like a well-rounded, polished team that Andy Reid likes to put on the field. And with that being said, Kris, let's talk about predictions here. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Can we come out of this with a W?
Absolutely, we can come out of this with a W. My dark horse reason for let's see how I want to phrase this. Dark horse competitor who needs to step up and could potentially be the swaying factor in getting a win. Juan Thornhill. If he can step up in this game and perform at the level that I think we all expected him to, I think that he could be the key factor in shutting down Watson and the passing game of the Texans, and potentially even the run game. And with that factor, I think that we end up getting the win today.
I'll tell you what. If we can get the production out of our safeties that we were looking for to start the season in Thornhill and Honey Badger, I believe you are correct. I'd love to see Honey Badger have a huge game and get to Watson all day. Like, if he could be a spy on Watson most of the day outside of his roles in the secondary, I think that we'll have a great game. But I'm with you on that. I'd love to see Frank Clark have a big day too. We get to the quarterback and Juan Thornhill has a great day, I feel like we'll be all right. And as long as we bring the energy on the offensive side of the ball, I feel like we can get this done. Now, do I think it's going to be a blowout? No, I don't. I'm at a point during the season with what we have going on, our schedule, the remaining teams that we have to play. This is going to be a closer game than I would like. It is probably going to be a nail-biter, and my prediction is the Chiefs are going to come out on top in this game 28-27 because we controlled the clock, kept the ball on the ground, and then took advantage of our big play opportunities from the ground game opening up the field. So that's my prediction. I feel like it's going to be close. We have to take J.J. Watt out of the game, which the Chiefs have been really good at, there in the past, but we're missing that key element to stop him, on that side of the field. So I legitimately think we are going to walk away at a nail-biter, and it's going to be close, and it's going to come down to the last minutes of this game, but we're going to take it 28-27.
Yeah, I definitely feel it's going to be really, really, really close. Very competitive game. I think probably the last 5 minutes we'll see the game-winning score. But ultimately, I'm putting the Chiefs on top 31-24.
Perfect. And hey, I'd like to have a touchdown lead, there towards the end of the game. 8 points, anything above a 1-score lead would be great. This is one of those games that, due to the last 3 weeks and due to how well-rounded the Texans' offense are, this is a respectful score. And I feel like that me and you both are on key. Kansas City, we got to buckle down. We got to come together as a unit. This is a critical win for the Chiefs. This is a lot bigger than people give it credit for. I've heard some fans, around Chiefs Kingdom this past week say, hey, we don't need this win. We do. I also think that, then this last game, I thought Patrick Mahomes needed a little rest. And, he's banged up, hurting. But realistically, we need the rest of the team to play ball because Patrick Mahomes is still out there playing ball, and we need the rest of the team to hop on board, knuckle down, and get this victory. So with that being said, Kris, is there anything else you'd like to add to the show before we get this pregame show out today, before everybody heads to Arrowhead Stadium?
Just one more thing, and I'm going to try to say this as passionately as possible. Go Chiefs!
Yes, let's go, Kansas City. Come on now. Look, we are in Week 6, Arrowhead Stadium, noon, Texans at Chiefs. I think we can take this game. We got to stick to the keys to success, and we'll walk out of this week with a victory. So, Kansas City, you have a blast today. Go out there and tailgate, eat some barbecue, drink some beer, have fun, get in that stadium, and show everybody why Arrowhead is the loudest stadium in the world. And with that being said, Kansas City, you have a wonderful day. We will speak with you this evening on the postgame show. Thank you, Kansas City.
Thank you for tuning in to Kingdom Radio, your go-to podcast for everything Kansas City Chiefs.